Officially, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm Megan Knight, anchor on Good Morning Maryland. Thank you so much for joining us on our Facebook Live with GBMC. Today, we're talking about babies and giving birth. And if you choose to give birth at GBMC, all the great options and services that they offer to your family. I am joined by Lainey Dowell, who is a parent education and doula manager at GBMC. So Lainey, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging in there with all of our technical issues.
Thank you so much. We're experiencing them on our end as well. So it's just a Wednesday morning. Just not a big deal.
Absolutely.
Right.
But we're going to push through here and we are going to get this Facebook Live going. So if you have any questions, I believe I'll be able to see them on our Facebook page. So let us know in the comments section. In the meantime, Lainey, could you just kind of give me a little bit of background as to what your role is at GBMC?
Absolutely. I am a birth and postpartum doula here at GBMC, and I manage the parent education program. We offer birth, postpartum services, parent education classes. We have an absolutely amazing boutique where we sell nursing bras, paraphernalia for newborn babies, clothing, breast pump parts, pump rental station. It's pretty much the one-stop shop for expecting families.
All right, very good. Yeah, so if you don't mind, just kind of walking me through the process. So we have a family, maybe it's their first baby, maybe it's their fourth baby, but when they come through the doors at GBMC, kind of walk me through the process. Are you there from start to finish?
For parent education, families can come in and register anytime for parent education classes. They are in person, and we do have some Zoom options as well. As far as doula supports, doulas are contracted anywhere during the pregnancy. We would prefer you register early on because the program is very busy. But the birth doulas really, our goal is to work with you from the time you're pregnant until the time you have your baby, through phone conversations, helping to guide you through the process. And then once you go into labor, we are with you from the time you contact the doula and let us know that you're in labor and have been admitted to GBMC, and we follow you through until delivery. We work with relaxation, counter pressure, position techniques, really providing education and resources throughout the process.
That's fantastic. And I would have to imagine that's really probably very beneficial, especially to first-time moms who have never experienced this before, to have somebody there just to kind of walk and guide them and let them know that it's going to be okay.
It really is wonderful. And especially for partners, when you have a partner that has never been through the birth process or been pregnant, and we're expecting them to perform in an area that they're just not comfortable with for the most part. So I feel like that additional guidance and working together as a team really helps to enhance their entire experience for labor and delivery, and even create a stronger bond with their healthcare providers.
Absolutely. So Lainey, if you don't mind just kind of delving in a little deeper into some of the classes and support services that you offer to families who decide to come and give birth at GBMC.
Absolutely. We offer childbirth education classes, whether you've chosen to be medicated or non-medicated, it doesn't matter. It's just a complete from start to finish, from the time you go into labor until the time you have the baby. If you're planning on laboring at home for as long as possible, or you know you want an epidural and you're coming in, as soon as you feel those first few contractions, our educators really do help prepare you for that big day. Then we have infant care, which is newborn care all the way through that first year, milestones, vaccines, what they mean, when to call the pediatrician, how to administer medication, diaper changing, soothing, swaddling, bathing. We offer a grandparents class, an amazing CPR class for infant and child CPR, breastfeeding classes, which are absolutely wonderful for families that aren't sure. Sometimes people know for sure they're going to breastfeed, and sometimes they're not 100% sure. And then we have a pregnancy class, which is called Pregnancy Information, and a pregnancy or postpartum recovery class for when you're ready to go home. And we just recover all those bullet points, talk about having to, or really how to set up your home care team, doula support, postpartum doula support if you've arranged for postpartum care, and then really how to integrate your community and using community resources for that postpartum recovery.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I was taking a peek at the parent education portion of the GBMC website. I saw you guys offer yoga classes and massages too.
We do. We have an amazing massage therapist who has become just probably one of my closest friends. Just her touch is absolutely amazing. And when people register with Anne through our program for a massage, they just continue to register. They love it. We have people that treat probably once a week, some once a month, family members that will call and buy a gift certificate for an expecting mom or a postpartum mom for a massage. It's a wonderful gift to yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that sounds fantastic to me.
I know we have obstetricians that come in on a regular basis that just absolutely love it. So
wow.
It's a nice service. The space itself is a gorgeous center. It really is our family center, encompassing expecting moms, postpartum moms. We do support programs on Wednesdays that is a combined group. It is our 9 months and counting expecting moms group and our postpartum recovery headed home group called Counting On. And we've merged that group so that the postpartum moms can really talk to the expecting moms and give each other a great perspective for what to expect and what to prepare for.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I would imagine you think that the support groups are really helpful. I mean, again, whether you've done this before, or maybe even if this is your second or third child, just to have that sense of community around you. And
absolutely,
alone in a certain thing, and then you go to these groups and you're like, oh, wait a minute, it's not just me.
Absolutely. And the last 2.5 years for the world has been somewhat isolating. So people are starting to emerge, and the communication has really enhanced through this process, which I like. And being able to Zoom in for support groups or come in person and bring your baby, it's a nice bonding opportunity for families.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, if you're just joining us on our Facebook Live, thank you so much. We got a little bit of a late start, but we're rocking and rolling now. I'm talking to Lainey Dowell, who is the Parent Education and Doula Manager at GBMC. So we'd love to hear your questions. Again, if you're a first time, expecting your child for the first time, or you're on baby number 2, 3, 4, please leave a question in the comment section for Lainey, and we will be sure to get to that. I also saw too, I think you may have touched on this, Lainey, the Parent Connection store. Sounds like it's kind of a nice one-stop shop for all expecting families.
It is beautiful. It's just a wonderful boutique. We have a huge variety of, probably the largest variety of nursing bras and hands-free pumping bras for moms. We offer special needs feeders for moms that might be having a rough start with having to supplement a newborn. We carry Angel Deer outfits, Milk Barn products. It really is the one-stop shop for moms that have any of the top 4 breast pumps. You can purchase any of the replacement parts. You don't have to buy the whole kit. You can just buy an individual part. So we have employees that come down all the time utilizing our pump station, where moms can, or staff members can come in and pump. And sometimes they forget a piece. They can pick up some pieces there in the store, which is great. But I would say the nursing bras, nursing pillows, and labor gowns are probably our top products, plus the gift items.
Very good. All right. Yeah. So if you forget something, because babies come with a lot of stuff. So
if you
forget something, you can go to the store.
They absolutely do.
And you can take care of. Talk to me just about how the importance of taking classes before you give birth, and also to the support groups afterwards too. I mean, it sounds like you guys don't just send mom out of the hospital and say, all right, good luck.
Absolutely. Now, I think it's so important to make sure when you're expecting, we have this idea that everything's natural. It's a normal process. Our bodies are hardwired to be able to get through this, and they are. But there is a learning process with it as well. The best example would be CPR. How many people would just know how to perform CPR without having the education behind it and knowing why and when and things to look for? Labor and delivery, it's the same process. We need to know how she's feeling, why she's feeling what she feels, what we can do at that point in time to provide comfort measures, whether they're physical or emotional support, times to back off, when to encourage, how to encourage. And most importantly, just reinforcing the fact that this is normal, this is expected, this is how we expect the whole process to occur. The more people educate themselves, the less mystery there is. And the more you know, the more capable you are of providing support to one another. So taking these classes together enhances your partnership. It enhances your confidence in labor and delivery. It certainly enhances your ability to provide that level of support to the person that you love. And then being able to pick up on key things when you're home for their postpartum recovery. Things like postpartum blues, not necessarily postpartum depression, but just blues, and how we can interact, how we can create schedules. We're not both up at the same time. Breastfeeding, what to look for, looking for hunger cues with a baby, when to expect a baby to really have a great latch, really when to expect your milk to come in. A lot of families will think that, oh, you have a baby and you have milk, but it could be 3 to 4 days before your milk comes in and your body's just producing colostrum. So those facts are so important to know when you're starting out with this journey and then going home and trying to troubleshoot things. It builds your confidence.
Absolutely. And also to know too, that you guys are there in case, I mean, because again, it's a lot of information coming at these parents, especially if this is their first time, but to know
Absolutely.
that you guys are there to guide them and they like, oh, wait a minute, I forget what to do with this, or,
Yes.
What's this again? But you guys are there always in case they have any of those questions.
We are, and we have a wonderful postpartum discharge program at GBMC where every single family there's a card that they fill out prior to discharge, and they can let us know how they would like to be contacted, whether it's email or by phone, but we follow up 3 to 4 days postpartum, post-discharge with every single patient that leaves GBMC, just to get an idea. How are things going? What needs do you have? How is your experience? What can we help with as far as your home transition? Do you have enough support? Have you arranged for your first pediatric appointment? Did you have questions with that? So all those basic, sometimes reminders for families, sometimes we just want to hear about your experience. We want to hear, tell us about your new addition. How did things go for you? Was it what you expected? What can we do to help make this process better for you? And it really is a great way to connect them to the other resources that are available in the hospital.
Yeah, and just to have somebody to ask them how they're doing, because once baby arrives, it's all about baby. So sometimes
It
you just
is.
need someone to say, hey, it's also you too, and checking in on your mental and emotional well-being too.
You have to take time for me. It's so important. You started out, for most families, unless you're single parenting, and boy, do I put my hands down for single parents. They're amazing. But as a couple, you started out in this process together. And it's so important to remember that it started out with the two of you, and you need to make time for the two of you to maintain a strong partnership. So that encouragement, that reminder sometimes for people that you do have to take time out, and it's okay to, put baby down for a little bit and not feel like you're constantly attached. It's super important to remind people that baby's integrating into your life, and we all have to find our place, but that doesn't mean we need to lose our place and who we are.
Oh, very well said. Love that. Also, with GBMC, a question here: how does an individual process online posting and stats, and what do those mean?
Oh, that is the biggest question, I would say, from our expecting parents. Social media is an amazing opportunity for people to do research, but we hear the word like Dr. Google and all the different posts that are out there. I just strongly encourage people, when you're looking at a study or any type of new agenda or something that's been posted, really look at where the facts are coming from. Has it truly been a studied process? Where was the study performed? Who created the study? Where was the method discovered? So really dig down. And if you have questions with that, I would just say, don't don't necessarily integrate that into your birth ideas. I'm not big on a birth plan because I think we make a plan and it never goes the way we want. But when we look at our birth ideas, so often we look at social media and what's new and what's popular. And that's great. It's a great learning method for us, but it's not always the best method for our pregnancy, for our baby, for our family, and how to incorporate that utilizing the medical care providers that you chose, your health team, your doula support, your education team, but using them as your sounding board. Community is amazing, and we want to reach out to community, but we all know that things get posted that aren't necessarily the best avenue for each individual, right? Every birth is different, every baby's different, every labor is different. So we want to create a plan and focus, or create an idea, talk about ideas, not so much a plan, that are going to work best for our situation. But that means getting the right education and utilizing the right resources.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't do it just because it's trending on TikTok. You have to.
Correct. Absolutely.
TikTok is good for some things, but maybe not everything.
Yeah, it's not always the safest avenue for all of us. And we have to remember that we don't always fit into the same box. So it's important.
Well, before we wrap up here, Lainey, I know you have helped probably so many women and families going through the birthing process. So do you have one big piece of advice, or maybe even some misconception that you often hear from parents that you have to debunk all the time, that you could share with the parents who are watching out there right now?
Absolutely. You know, my favorite line, I would say, or thought is, we spend 9 months planning for one big day, right? 9 months. With our big reveal parties and everything else, and studying products and everything from all the product resources that we use for one big day. We really need to set that day up as an idea. And if everything, all stars aligns and things were perfect, this is how we would love to see it proceed. But the reality is we need to be flexible, and flexibility is the number one word to come in with labor and delivery, being open-minded and flexible, and understanding that intervention is not a bad word. Intervention sometimes is a good word. It can be a necessity. It can be something that we have to just accept and understand and move forward with. But aside from the fact that it's one big day we plan for, we need to look at the 3 months following, and how can we be the best possible partner and parent and person to ourselves. So really scheduling that 3 months postpartum support and seeing what that's going to look like. It's hard to plan for something that you're not aware of until you get there. But everyone who's been through pregnancy and postpartum knows those 3 months following that one big day they're difficult, and they're glorious. They're wonderful things. But having support in place is really helpful.
Yeah, a lot of emotions that go on. So
a lot of emotions. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reality.
Yes, reality. Yeah.
Reality, but flexible. Be flexible with your reality.
Yes, yeah. That's great advice, Lainey. All right. So if anyone watching would like more information about the parent education and doula programs at GBMC, where can they go?
They can go to the www.gbmc.org/parent-ed site. They can, when you go to that site, you can look up everything as far as classes, support programs, getting a massage with Anne, which is amazing. Yes. Really, any support, any of the support groups that we have. There's also a great navigation that is a QR code. If you're ever looking to get from point A to point B on GBMC's campus, the navigation site is probably one of my favorite tools to use and resources for your visit here at GBMC.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Lainey Dowd, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of our questions and sharing your knowledge and your expertise. It's really been a great conversation.
Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful morning.